The forest is still half asleep. A faint mist lies over the quiet earth. Dew clings to every leaf, catching the first hint of morning light. From a distance, the faint sound of a bird begins to rise. Soft, slow, and tender, the sky is painted in pale silver, and the air is cool and pure. Deep within this silence, under the tall sal trees, the Buddha sits cross-legged on a simple mat made of grass. He has been awake before the first light touched the world. His eyes are closed, but his mind is wide open, peaceful, and clear. There is no dream, no thought of yesterday or tomorrow, only the gentle rhythm of breathing in and breathing out. As the first rays of dawn reach through the trees, he slowly opens his eyes. There is no hurry in his movement, no trace of sleepiness or desire. The world outside begins to stir, birds calling, leaves moving, tiny insects waking from their rest. Yet in the Buddha's presence, everything feels calm, almost timeless. He sits still, watching how life itself awakens. The soft glow of morning touches his face. It is not the glow of the sun, but the quiet radiance of a mind that has no burden. He looks around and sees the forest. Stillness. He rises slowly, folds his sitting cloth, and places it aside. Every action is done with full awareness, as if the universe moves in harmony with each gesture. The robe that he wears is simple and patched, but it shines with the light of purity. As he drapes it over his shoulder, the fabric moves softly with the morning breeze. He then takes a few steps, barefoot on the cool ground. The touch of the earth beneath his feet is a reminder. This body, this world, this breath, all are joined together in a single flow of life. Nothing is separate. Nothing belongs to anyone. Every breath is a gift. Every step is a prayer. He bows his head slightly toward the horizon, not to any god, not to the rising sun, but to the truth of life itself, changing, living, breathing. At this quiet hour, the monks begin to gather, walking silently from their huts among the trees. No one speaks. They know that words are not needed when the heart is still. Each monk carries his bowl, cleaned and ready for the day's alms round. They stand together behind the Buddha, forming a gentle line, not of power, but of peace. The Buddha turns and looks at them, his eyes filled with kindness. There is no command, no instruction. Only a silent understanding passes between them. They know that today, like every day, they will walk into the village, not to seek food for pleasure, but to give the world a chance to give. The alms round is not a duty. It is a bridge between those who teach and those who live ordinary lives. Before stepping onto the path, the Buddha pauses. For a brief moment, he gazes once more at the quiet forest around him. He knows that this same stillness lies within every being, waiting to be found. The forest is his temple, the earth his floor, the sky his roof. Every sound is a reminder of the great rhythm of life. He takes a deep breath, calm, steady, aware. Then, in complete silence, he begins to walk. The monks follow behind, their robes gently moving with the wind. The morning light now shines fully, turning the forest gold. The alms round has not yet begun, but already the teaching has started, not through words. The Buddha walks slowly, mindfully, carrying nothing but his bowl, and within that bowl, the reflection of the sky, the light, and the silent gratitude of all life. The light of morning now spreads gently across the forest. The mist has begun to lift, revealing the soft green of leaves and the golden shine of the earth still wet with dew. The Buddha stands quietly near his small hut, holding it with both hands. It is smooth from years of use, dark and plain, but to him it is more than an object. It is a symbol of the connection between the world and the path of truth. He pours clean water over the bowl, washing it with slow, mindful movements. Each drop sparkles in the sunlight as if the world itself were blessing this small act. There is no servant, no helper. He does all things himself. The sound of water falling into the earth is soft, steady, and clear. The Buddha's mind is still as the water in the bowl when it settles. Every motion, no matter how small, is done with full attention. Around him, the monks prepare in silence. They tie their robes neatly, adjust the folds, and check their bowls. None speak, for silence is their language. The sound of their bare feet on the ground is light and rhythmic, like the earth breathing beneath them. They know that soon they will follow their teacher into the village for the alms round, a journey that is both humble and sacred. The Buddha looks up toward the horizon where the sun now rises fully. The golden light touches the treetops, shining upon everything equally: the trees, the ground, the smallest insects, and even the monks standing quietly nearby. In that same way, his compassion shines on all beings without choosing or rejecting anyone. He adjusts his robe, once more, covering one shoulder, the fabric resting lightly across his chest. Then he places his bowl gently against his side, holding it with both hands. His face is calm and serene, as if untouched by the weight of time. He turns toward the monks, and without a single word, they understand that it is time to go. The forest path ahead is narrow, covered with fallen leaves that rustle underfoot. The Buddha steps first, each foot touching the ground with care, every step a reminder of the present moment. The monks follow behind in a single line, their robes the color of the earth, blending perfectly with nature around them. The morning air carries the scent of wild flowers and damp soil. This is not a march, not a display of holiness, but a gentle walk of awareness. The alms round is not about collecting food. It is a living meditation. Each step, each breath, each heartbeat is part of a rhythm that connects all things. The Buddha's mind is steady, his gaze soft, his body relaxed yet firm. He does not think about the food he will receive, nor whether it will be enough. He knows that whatever comes is just what is needed, no more, no less. For the monks, walking behind him is a lesson deeper than any spoken word. They see in every move of the Buddha what true peace looks like: calm in motion, joy in simplicity. The path they walk together is more than a trail to the village. It is the path to freedom from craving and fear. As they leave the forest, the world begins to awaken fully. Farmers are leading their oxen to the fields. Mothers are lighting small fires for breakfast. Children run across the paths with laughter. When they see the Buddha and his monks, the villagers stop what they are doing. Some bow there. His presence itself is enough. People feel calm as he passes. Their worries seem to fade. Their hearts grow light. The bowl he carries is empty, yet it already holds something precious: the faith and kindness of those who will give. Before they reach the village gate, the Buddha pauses for a brief moment. He looks up at the sky, now bright and clear, and breathes in deeply. There is no separation between the air, the forest, the village, and his own breath. Everything moves together in quiet harmony. He lowers his eyes again and steps forward. The alms round is about to begin, a simple act that brings heaven and earth together in one shared moment of giving and gratitude. And as the Buddha leads his followers down the path toward the heart of the village, his silence continues to teach the greatest lesson of all: that peace does not come from having, but from being fully awake in every small thing we do. The narrow forest path slowly opens into the sacred stillness of the approaching monks. The Buddha walks at the front of the line, barefoot, his robe moving gently with the rhythm of his steps. Each foot touches the earth softly, without hurry. The Buddha and his monks approaching, a quiet respect spreads like a wave through the people. Conversations stop, movements slow, and the whole village seems to breathe in silence for a moment. No one is ordered to bow or to offer anything. They do so naturally, as flowers open toward the light. The villagers bring small baskets of rice, fruit, or cooked vegetables. Their faces show both joy and humility. The Buddha walks with steady grace, eyes softly focused a few steps ahead. He does not look to the left or the right, does not seek attention, does not measure what is given. His bowl remains open before him, not as a request, but as a symbol of acceptance, open to life, open to whatever the day brings. He receives what is offered with quiet gratitude, saying nothing, for words are not needed when the heart is awake. Each handful of rice that falls into the bowl is like a gesture of love, a simple act that connects two lives, the giver and the receiver, in a moment of pure kindness. A small boy tugs at his mother's hand, pointing to the Buddha. His mother bends down and whispers softly, "That is the awakened one, the one who teaches peace." The boy's eyes widen, but he senses the stillness rather than the glory. He watches as the Buddha passes, feeling something gentle in his heart, something he cannot name. The Buddha does not stop or speak, yet his presence fills the space like fragrance fills the air, unseen but deeply felt. The monks behind him move with the same silent rhythm. Each one holds his bowl steadily, walking in mindfulness, aware of every breath, every touch of the earth beneath their feet. They do not compete for offerings. They do not count what they receive. To them, this walk is part of their training, a way to remain humble, patient, and aware. The alms round is not only a way to find food. It is a meditation in motion, a living lesson in trust. The villagers continue to offer. The poorest among them give what little they have, a few grains of rice, a small piece of fruit. Yet those small offerings shine brighter than gold, because they come from a pure heart. As the Buddha walks, he can sense the thoughts of the people around him, their hopes, their fears, their quiet wishes for a better life. He does not judge them. He understands. He knows that suffering touches every heart, but within that suffering lies the seed of awakening. His silence is not cold. It is a gentle mirror in which others can see themselves clearly. The sun climbs higher, casting longer shadows. The road winds through the village and leads back toward the open fields. The Buddha's bowl is now half full, not too much, not too little. The monks' bowls are the same. None think of what kind of food they have received or whether it will taste good. Gratitude has already filled their hearts. A soft breeze moves through the trees as they near the end of the village. The people watch them go, some smiling, some still bowing. A sense of peace lingers in the air, as if time itself has slowed. Even after the monks have passed, the quiet remains, a silence. More powerful than any teaching, it is the silence of understanding, of hearts touched by simple goodness. The Buddha leads his monks out of the village and onto the open path again. Behind them, life resumes. Fires are lit, children laugh, farmers call to their oxen. But something unseen has changed. The act of giving, the meeting with calmness, has left a gentle light within every home. The Buddha does not turn back, for he knows the real gift is not the food they received, but the peace they left behind. As they walk back toward the forest, the sound of their footsteps fades into act, done with mindfulness and kindness, can awaken the deepest truth within a human heart. The monks return slowly to the forest, their bowls now holding the simple gifts of the morning. The road behind them is quiet again, but in their hearts there is a gentle warmth. The Buddha walks at the front, steady and calm, his eyes lowered, the sunlight touching the edges of his robe. Robe is done slowly, without a single wasted motion. The Buddha takes his seat at the head of the gathering. There are no golden chairs, no decorated table, only the same ground shared by all. He looks at the food in his bowl, not with desire or dislike, but with quiet reflection. His gaze is gentle and full of awareness, as though he can see beyond the form of the food itself to the effort and kindness behind it. Before eating, he closes his eyes for a moment. The monks follow his example, and a wave of stillness spreads among them. No one speaks. The forest seems to pause and listen. In that silence, the Buddha reflects on the food, how it has come to him through the kindness of others, how farmers have worked the fields, how rain and sunlight have nourished the earth, how the villagers have given out of faith and love. Nothing is taken for granted. Every grain of rice carries the story of countless lives and conditions. He reminds himself quietly that this food is not for pleasure or pride, but to keep the body healthy enough to continue walking the path of wisdom. Then, with slow and careful movement, he lifts the first bite to his mouth. He eats without hurry, aware of every taste, every texture, every motion of chewing and swallowing. Each mouthful is a moment of meditation, a reminder that even the act of eating can be sacred when done with a pure mind. The monks do the same, their faces calm, their eyes lowered. The only sounds are the soft rustle of robes and the quiet rhythm of life in the forest. The meal is not a time for conversation, to rest in gratitude. The food becomes more than nourishment for the body. It becomes nourishment for mindfulness itself. As the Buddha eats, a few villagers approach quietly and sit at a respectful distance. They have come not to ask for anything, but simply to watch, to be near this peace. A woman, who earlier placed rice in the Buddha's bowl, feels tears in her eyes as she sees him eat it so. Same. The meal has ended, but the mindfulness continues. Nothing has been wasted, nothing has been taken in greed. The bowls are empty, yet everyone feels full, not with food, but with quiet joy. After a few moments, the Buddha opens his eyes and looks at the monks. His expression is peaceful, filled with kindness. Though he says only a few words, his voice carries deep meaning. He reminds them to be grateful, not only for the food, but for the opportunity to live simply, to rely on others without attachment, and to walk each day with humility. This body, he says softly. The clear water reflects the sky, the trees, and his calm face. He tips the water carefully onto the earth, as if returning what has been borrowed. When everything is done, the monks rise quietly and go their separate ways, some to meditate under the trees, some to sweep the paths, some to sit near the river. The Buddha remains seated for a little longer, watching the sunlight filter through the branches. There is no sense of gain or loss, no thought of tomorrow, only the simple beauty of this moment. The alms round is complete, the meal is over, yet the true nourishment has only just life. The forest has grown warm under the midday sun. The meal has ended, but a soft stillness still hangs in the air, as if time itself has slowed to rest beside the Buddha. The monks sit quietly. Around him, their bowls now empty and clean, their robes the same color as the earth beneath them. The sound of wind moves through the trees, carrying the gentle rhythm of leaves touching each other, of one who lives in harmony with all things. He looks slowly around at the monks. Some are young, still learning to steady their minds. Others are older, already calm like the still water of a lake. The Buddha does not speak immediately. He waits until even the birds have quieted, until the air itself seems ready to listen. Then, in a voice gentle and clear, he begins to speak. His words are simple, but they carry the weight of deep truth. He reminds them that peace is not found by escaping the world, but by understanding it. The world, he says, is not the forest, the village, or the people. It is the mind that clings and resists. When one sees clearly, the world loses its power to disturb. The monks listen closely. Some close their eyes as they take in his words, letting them sink like rain into dry soil. The Buddha continues, telling them that their daily practice, the way they walk, eat, and breathe, is not separate from awakening. The path is not far away, he says softly. It is beneath your feet. When you walk with awareness, you are already walking the path. After speaking, he sits quietly again. The monks remain in silence, their hearts filled with a quiet joy that comes not from excitement, but from understanding. They know that their teacher is showing them the way not only through his words, but through his being. His every movement, every breath, teaches what books cannot hold. After some time, the Buddha stands. His movements are slow, yet filled with grace. He takes his bowl, now empty, and holds it for a moment in his hands. The bowl, simple and worn, has carried countless meals, yet it remains unchanged. Just as the awakened mind touches the world but is not stained by it. He walks to a small stream. Nearby, the monks following in silence. The water is clear, flowing gently over smooth stones. The Buddha kneels, scoops some water into his bowl, and washes it carefully. The sunlight dances on the surface, making the water look like liquid gold. When he finishes, he pours the water back into the stream and watches it merge again with the flow. Nothing is kept, nothing is wasted. The monks do the same, learning not only how to clean a bowl, but how to live without holding on. They see how even the smallest act can become a lesson in mindfulness, a mirror reflecting the truth of impermanence. When everything is done, they place their bowls upside down to dry in the sun and return to their sitting places. A few villagers have remained at a distance, watching. Quietly, one man, an old farmer, approaches with a hesitant smile. He bows low before the Buddha, his voice trembling as he speaks. "Lord," he says softly, "I have no wealth, but each time I see you walk through our village, I feel rich. What is it that makes my heart so light when I see you?" The Buddha looks at him, eyes filled with kindness. He answers gently, "Because when you see peace." His steps slower, but his heart lighter than before. As the afternoon deepens, the forest begins to glow with warm light. The Buddha returns to his seat, facing the trees. A light breeze brushes Through his robe, the monks settle into meditation, their faces serene, their bodies still. The sounds of the world, rustling leaves, the buzz of small insects, the distant call of birds, all blend into a single rhythm, the breathing of life itself. Hours pass without anyone noticing. There is no sense of time in this stillness. The Buddha's presence seems to spread outward, touching and teaching his past, but it feels as natural as breathing. The Buddha slowly rises, looking at the sky now painted with shades of orange and gold. He smiles faintly, not at the beauty of the, and together they begin to prepare for the evening meditation. The forest grows darker, the sounds of night begin to awaken, but the peace remains unbroken. The Buddha walks slowly back to his hut, his bowl in his hand, his steps as light as the falling leaves. Behind him, the forest glows in the last light of day, as if bowing to the calm of the awakened one. And in that quiet hour, as night begins to settle, the teaching continues, not through words, not through rituals, but through the silent example of a life lived in perfect balance between the world and beyond it.